Well, hello everyone and welcome to another MI Short here on the MIgardener channel. I'm so glad you got to make it for this one because it's going to be answering a very common question that I get here, and I wanted to answer it because it's coming around to that time of season, and that is the hot season. I know a lot of people have been asking me about how I kind of prepare for the hot summer months, because here in Michigan we pretty much have a very mild summer, and a lot of the northern states have a pretty mild summer. And then there's about a window of maybe 3 weeks to anywhere between 3 and 5 weeks where it's incredibly hot. And it takes a toll on the plants, needless to say, because they just can't prepare for something to be 70 degrees, then 100 degrees. And it just happens like so quickly. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to explain kind of how I prepare for summer, and then also answer the question of what is my favorite mulch. So I kind of want to answer those two questions because it's going to be fun and they kind of tie together. So the first way I prepare for summer is by mulching. I always mulch. I don't necessarily mulch my beds as much because they're wood, so they are insulated with the wood, and then also they have a very good compost which helps to hold in air, and air is a very good insulator as well, so it helps to kind of keep it pretty temperate. And also the beds, they are packed with plants so that the sunshine doesn't really scorch the leaves. They pretty much, the foliage from all the plants pretty much acts as a foliage mulch. But when it comes to stuff in pots here, I like to grow a fair amount in pots because it's a great way to use up resources that would normally just be thrown away. Like these right here are 4-gallon nursery pots. And these 4-gallon nursery pots make excellent planters. I mean, I plant anything from tomatoes to potatoes to peppers to even melons in these pots here. And they're very great, they're all purpose. But the one thing you'll find, and that a lot of people find, is that the fact that the pots here are black, they actually absorb a lot of that sun. And so even on days like 70 degrees, 80 degrees, these pots heat up hot. And that is the number one reason why your pepper plants will stop producing, is because when the soil heats up, it actually stresses the plant out. And when the plant is stressed, it's going to drop its flowers, decreasing the amount of yield that you're going to get. What I like to do is preparing like around, I would say, mid-July, I'll start doing this because it's really not necessary until mid-July. But around mid-July, right about this time, I'm going to take grass clippings and put grass clippings here. And that answers the question is, what is my favorite mulch? And it's grass clippings, that's right. So grass clippings are my favorite mulch because the fact they have a lot of surface area. And surface area basically is like wood chips, they have very little surface area. They are, they're pretty chunky, they get some air, they get some air gas, but there's really not a whole lot of crisscrossiness going on. And the crisscrossiness of the grass here helps to lock a lot of air in. And like we talked about, ooh, it's getting really windy. We must have a summer storm moving through. But like we talked about though, all that air is a very good insulator. And just like in the soil, when you have a lot of compost, that aeration is very good for keeping the soil climate controlled. And so I like to go with grass. Another reason why grass is my favorite type of mulch is because it breaks down quickly. At the end of the season, I like to just kind of leave it there, or like if I do happen to mulch a bed, I'll just leave it in the bed, and that way it actually breaks down throughout the season. Whereas a lot of people ask me why I don't use wood chips, and that's the very reason why I don't like using wood chips, is because if I turn over the soil, or if I till, or if I just happen to plant the next season and those wood chips are there and the wood chips fall into the soil, it actually will rob nutrients and rob nitrogen from the soil, depleting the amount of nitrogen that's there for the plants. Whereas the grass breaks down super, super quick, again, because of that surface area, all the tiny little microbes and fungi and stuff can break it down a whole lot quicker, and it helps to feed the soil throughout the season, and then it's also amending it for next season. So a fair amount there. Also, it's a free resource that you basically get as a byproduct from mowing your lawn. I like to do that because, when you mow your lawn, you get a lot of grass clippings that just kind of fall into the soil, and those eventually mat down and harm your grass. Whereas I'll take like a lawn rake and I will just rake up the lawn. We also have sometimes those little lines of grass where it kind of shoots out and piles up. I'll rake all that up, and it's just there to be used. Rather than calling someone to haul in a bunch of stuff, it's really light, it takes up very little space, and it's very handy as well. So there you go. That's really it. I hope I kind of answered that question. But yeah, I don't do a whole lot to prepare for the hot summer months. I just really don't. The most I'll do is mulch, and I just basically let the plants do the rest. There's really nothing much else you can do, but yeah, mulching does help out a lot as well. So there you go, how I prepare for the hot summer months, and what is my favorite mulch? 2 questions answered. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully you learned something new. And if you have a favorite mulch, post in the comments box below what you like to use. I know there's a ton of them, and it might give some other people some ideas of what you use as well. So hopefully you all enjoyed, and I'll talk to you all later. This is Luke from the MIgardener channel, hoping you all are growing big or going home, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.